Hey, what's up everybody? Bro Trio here, and I am bringing you a very special video today because this one has been looming large on my heart for quite some time, and I'm finally getting to talk about Final Fantasy XVI. But this video is also a two-parter. It is also an announcement because I want to bring y'all on a Final Fantasy journey with me, because I realized I have only played like 4% of the Final Fantasy games, because I really only have ever played 7, 8, 9, and 10. That was pretty much it. I played 6 a few years back and loved it, but now with the Pixel Remaster, I can play almost all Final Fantasies, and I am going to do that, and it's going to culminate in the Final Fantasy rankings on this channel, which we haven't done rankings in quite some time, and let alone one that massive in scope, because it's not only Final Fantasies 1 through 16, we're counting all the other ones that are like mainline spin-offs, like Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, Spirits Within. It all counts, whether it's movie, games, or what. I don't know if Tactics we'll see about that. But
it's count the movies?
Oh yeah, it counts. So, that is the announcement of the Final Fantasy montage I'll be doing. I'm going to be coming to y'all talking about every single one I play. Maybe just me. Might have them with me. I really like to tell them and badly explain the plot of Final Fantasies, because it really blows their minds how crazy it is. But sometimes I may just be there talking about the game and everything.
Oh yeah, because like when you were talking about 8 and all the monsters raining down from the moon, I was just like, what the hell? How have I never heard this before?
So, if you like Final Fantasy, you like hearing me talk about it, stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot more Final Fantasy. I don't know when the hell I'm going to finish this. This is like a year or two tops that it won't be done. Maybe Rebirth and Final Fantasy VII Part 3 will finally be concluded by then, so I can do like 10 videos just about Final Fantasy VII. But stay tuned to that for the future. And now, let's get on to Final Fantasy XVI, spoiler-free at first, and then we'll get into the spoilers. Okay, so Final Fantasy XVI is a massive departure for the franchise. Like I said, I kind of am outing myself as like a fake fan of Final Fantasy. That, like, I've loved it for so long, but I've only played 4 of them, which is baffling, at the quality of these games. And I love turn-based RPGs. Final Fantasy XVI is like the furthest from that it could get. It basically Devil May Cry with less RPGs in it. Like, it is
less than Devil May Cry? Wow.
I don't know if that's
because Devil May Cry doesn't have any.
Final Fantasy XVI barely has any. You get different equipment. It makes the numbers go up. Okay,
then it's more.
That's it.
Slightly.
Like, that's it. Like, that's my biggest complaint, is that this game is barely an RPG. You basically have no party. Like, you do have a party. It's normally you and your dog paddling around, and then there's always a third person there. Whether it's... I'm not going to tell you, actually. This is spoiler-free. It cycles through about 3 people, but there's always a third person there, and then sometimes there's not, but... and this was a big one. The upgrades, like, I really like it when equipment is just like, yes, it's weaker, but it'll automatically poison the enemy if I hit them.
Oh, yeah.
There's none of that. It's always just like, the attack's higher, you're good. Move on to the next one. Build the next thing. Make the numbers go up. And it's just like... Because there's even some weapons that you can forge, like, late in the game that is just like, this is weaker than what I currently have. Why would I make this when it's inferior? It has no special, like, connotations or anything to it. Like, why?
Maybe
why would
it looks cooler.
The odds are no.
Oh.
I mean, Clive has a big old sword, and it's cool looking most of the time. Sometimes it's just a generic sword, but it's huge, so cool. And that brings us into the next one. There's like, you might have them against you, but you can't inflict status effects. Like, I think you can get poisoned, but it like sloughs off like almost immediate. Like it might as well not be there. But like yeah, you can't poison or put enemies to sleep or anything like that. There's no status effects. And then this is the weirdest part. Is there's no elements in the game. So there's no like fire, wind, water, lightning. Okay.
Shiva's in it.
This is where the asterisk comes in. Because elements are in the game. You have your iconic abilities, and that changes the element of your magical, like, magic shoot.
Ramu.
So if you're Ifrit, you shoot fire. If you're Ramu, you shoot lightning. This matters nothing. Nothing is not anything, like, it's not weak to fire, or this isn't weak to lightning.
It's just whatever you like better.
Everything's just there. Yeah, and it doesn't matter at all. So, yeah, so that's... That was a big one that, like, it took me so long into the game to even realize, like, this doesn't matter. Like, I thought it was mattering, and then I was like, it's not. It doesn't. And then I looked it up, and everyone was like, yeah, it doesn't. And I was like,
huh.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, that sucks.
So, yeah, barely an RPG. No elements. No status effects, which is, like, a really cool thing in RPGs. That pulls out, like, the strategy and stuff. But no. The biggest actual, like, gameplay complaint, like, if you're not counting the no RPG stuff, is going to be the uneven pacing. This game is very... there are some high highs and some low lows. And basically, you climb up a mountain, like... I guess feel-wise, like you don't literally do it.
Oh.
But like, you know, you go from mission 1 to mission 3, you're climbing up that mountain. Mission 4, you get to the peak of the mountain for like the reward that is the icon fights, where you're fighting summons, you're Ifrit, punching Phoenix in the face, and it's absolutely amazing. And then you sink back down to the bottom to climb another mountain. So it just goes from iconic gods, kaiju fighting, punching each other in the face, down to like, hey, can you go grab me some flowers?
Oh no.
Yeah, a lot of
like
fetch quests are in this
like
game.
Mid-game fetch quest time?
How do you... Okay. So is it like level-based? Or is it...
There are levels, like, and experience you gain, but...
I know it's not open world.
It's like open area, open zone-ish.
Okay,
Kind of like
so
God of War and God of War Ragnarok, where like the
'Cause
areas are big.
When I kept hearing Devil May Cry comparisons, I was thinking like, okay, you walk this way and fight everything.
No, I mean,
Okay.
yes, but that brings me to the next point. While the zones are big, there is hardly any reward for exploration. Like, you can walk all over the place, but odds are you'll just find some crafting materials that you found a million others, like the same thing.
I'm not gonna lie, you are not selling.
Yeah, hold on, it gets much better.
Yeah,
this is the negative portion.
This is the negatives, but... Ooh.
No, so yeah, no exploration. There's not like...
I don't think we've had this many negatives since my Death Stranding review.
Dude, I mean, every now and then, like, you can find, like, a decoration that's, like, I think is, like, earring or a ring or something that, like, it buffs your iconic abilities, so, like, you can do, like, the Ifrit charge with, like, extra damage, or, like, it does extra cooldown so you can use it more. And we'll talk about those in the positive. Those are awesome. But, other than that, there's not too many things you find, other than, like, crafting materials and just a bunch of crap. You find a lot of goblin coins, and then it's just like, you could sell this to get money. It's like, just give me the money. Like,
let me buy a goblin. Are there goblins in the game? Or
there are goblins in the game. And then, and a lot of them are
like
in the trash side quests.
Are they like traditional little guys, little goblins?
They're little goblins. They're like...
Okay, they're not like... So they're not...
Do that.
Can you use goblin coins at the goblin shop?
There are no goblin shops. They're barbarians.
They don't have an economy. They only have coins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
But a lot of the
See, I was wondering because some
are...
things are like, oh, the goblin's over there, and it's like a furry little fucker, and it's like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
No, it's an actual goblin. Like, they're not green, but...
I mean, they don't have to be.
Yeah,
but...
they don't have to be. But they're very goblin-esque. Like, you see one, you know it's a goblin.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're in a lot of the side quests that are garbage. It's not, like, utter garbage, but, like, it's pretty bad. There are a lot of like fetch questy ones, or it's just like, oi, I lost my brother, go get him. There's a lot of Cockney stuff, which is hilarious.
Did you find him, or is it like the Gavin side quest from Red Dead Redemption 2, where the guy?
Odds are you find him. Like it's normally well, actually no, it's a mixed bag. It can be happy, but it's a very dire game. But yeah, you go and you find him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm the lost brother. These goblins wouldn't let me leave." And then it's like, "Oh, it's goblin fight time." And you kill them all in like 3 seconds because you're wielding the power of the gods, fighting goblins. Like, who cares? Like, and then it's over. And then he's just like, "Oh, you saved me, brother. Here's some crafting materials again.
Here's some goblin coins."
Yeah. Most of the time, the quest rewards are you really want the EXP to level up, or they like increase your renown, so then you become like more famous. And there's like a renown system where like this is a positive. Like you strategically like throughout the game they place like these renown like points where like you build up your points enough and then you get shit for it. So like you get a few like really good items and like accessories and stuff from that.
Do people like recognize you?
No.
They're like, "Oh, the goblin slayer you are.
No.
Hello.
Yeah, like on Fable.
No, none of that.
Damn.
No.
So not Fable.
Nope. And yeah, so the side quests are bad. Most of the side characters are also bad.
Oh.
Yeah. There's like so many people in the hideaway that's like this like
What's that?
Okay, this is hard to explain without spoilers. Basically, you're a bunch of like misfits, run-of-the-mill people that like joined together like for the uprising.
So Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy. You're terrorists again.
Oh, good. Okay.
And basically, it's like the hidey hole for all the like the terrorist village, basically. And yeah, there's a lot of side characters. Like the blacksmith's like, "Oi, I'm a big man and I have no feeling." And then the like shopkeep
Do they say that? Does he say that?
He basically says
I don't express myself well.
And then the shopkeep lady's like, "Oi, I'm a cranky old crone lady, but I make saucy comments sometimes.
I don't take goblin coins."
Yeah. But yeah, most of the side characters are not good. Like I don't give two shits about them. This was the game of most recent memory that I was hammering that X button any time there was dialogue. I was just like, good God, get to the goblin fights. That's how much I hated listening to the dialogue.
You need more goblin coins. I don't know why that wording is so funny to me.
Okay, so that is the last of the negatives. Let's get into the positives. Now this is a neutral one, positive or negative, depending on how you look at it. You basically get all of the combat options, general combat options, available from the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Take that as you will. That's where it gets...
I mean, that can be good.
Yeah.
That's where it does get RPG-esque, is like you have a skill tree, it's mainly for the icons, but you get skill points, and then you can, like, unlock all these attacks. Like, that's why it's basically at the beginning of the game.
So is it kind of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where it's like you can find spears and swords, and you can know every combat style, but then it adds more stuff later? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's more stuff later with the icon
It just adds more cool stuff to the basics of it.
This is Clive's abilities. So, like, you can, like, level up and spend your points, and you get a lunge stab. So he lunges and stabs when you hold X and square or something. Or he'll, like, you can unlock, like, a thrust. So whenever he's in the air, he'll thrust them down and, like, meteor smash them into the ground and stuff. So it's like good abilities. Like I could not imagine the game without them. And like there's the big, like probably the best common ability is like you hold square, Clive imbues his sword with Ifrit's fire and like does a massive hit on him. And you can do that like mid combo and stuff. You can do like a magic burst mid combo. So like Clive slashes slash hit triangle. He'll work in a magic burst and then keep slashing, then magic burst, keep slashing. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
But like I said, you unlock it all very early, and then that's where the really plus is, like all the plus stuff happens after that, because you get the iconic abilities. You have Ifrit, you have Phoenix, you know, Titan's in the game from the trailers, so you have his stuff, and every one of these has different, like, attacks and abilities. So you have your attacks, which take over square and triangle. You can pick out of 3 different regular attacks, and then you have like one super attack that's basically like a limit break. It takes a long time to cool down, but does massive damage. And you can swap them out however you want, so it's not like one is light, one is strong. Like typically throughout the like icon trees, they're spread out like that. So you have like a good one for strength and a good one for stagger, because the stagger meter's back from like Final Fantasy VII Remake and stuff like that. But they also have the, I forget what they call them, but it's like the mobile abilities. Like you press circle, something happens. Like when you have Ifrit, you press circle, you dash to the enemy, like you teleport to them, because you have like the Phoenix strike. You do it with Titan, you block and stuff like that. Like it's a really cool way to like freshen it up. And the skill trees, one of the best parts about it is this is, late game, but yeah, we'll get into that later. Actually, I don't want to tell you about that. And then moving on to the next thing. The story is really good once it gets going. It takes a while to get there, but like I said, it's really high peaks and low lows, and the story kind of keeps you going throughout most of that. Like at the beginning, it's like a mystery, and then it's like, you know, a blood feud, hatred, like revenge plot, and then it's like wham bam, what the just happened.
Love a good blood feud.
But it also this can vary based on your preferences. I didn't care for it that much, but it takes some influences from like Game of Thrones story wise and gets really like political with like the plots. Like you have like kings and queens, like, and subterfuge
like
and stuff like that.
Like,
and
yeah, like this guy's like, I should be the king, and like he sends a spy or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just like, yes, but the hierarchy will not let me do this, so I won't do it. And it's just like, okay, what? Get back to the monster fights, like, because that's where the uneven pacing comes in. Because all this stuff is happening, and some of these characters are just like, oh yeah, you're evil. I like you. You're good. Like, good to hate. But then someone's just like, okay, move on. Let's go, get going. Something else happened, and then a lot of the.
So would it be better if it was just all politics or all like high fantasy?
Honestly, no. It should be more high fantasy towards the beginning, because the high fantasy kicks in, like, I would say probably about 70% through the game is when it like really jumps into high fantasy.
That is quite a while before all the god fighting kicks in.
Well, the god fights are there.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool, because like that's the cool part. It's like it's political, and it's like these armies that are just like, I'm going to fight you because I want your resources. Here is my god that is in my army. Titan, go smash the entire continent. But then the other army's just like, oh yeah, well we got this frosty bitch Shiva that's gonna fight Titan.
And this isn't cool?
It is cool, but it's cutscene wise. Like,
okay.
That's the cool part. But then you also get a lot of like the planning of it when you're just like, oi, yeah, Benedicta did that. We better stop her. Let's go.
Is Benedicta a real name in this game?
Benedicta is a real name. She's the icon of wind for Garuda.
Did she betray everybody?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, no. Man. With that name, you kind of have to.
But yeah, it's just, like, I don't know. It was a lot of politics that was, like, kind of cool sometimes, but especially at the beginning, it was, like, way not what I wanted. It was almost like bordering on like false advertisement. It felt like, because like the prologue gets you fucking pumps, and then it's just like, oh god, when do I get to be Ifrit again?
Okay, so I really liked Game of Thrones though. Would I like that?
You probably would like it, and that's where it really reminds me of Game of Thrones.
Is there a lot of like?
I had no idea what the was going on that whole show, but the DVDs had this really helpful feature where you could like active time lore, see what's going on, and see like a family tree of who's what and who's who. And you have that in Final Fantasy 16. You can just pause a cutscene, and you're just like, oh, that's Clive Rosfield. Who is he related to? Oh, he's related to this. He's doing this in the plot right now. That's Clive's brother Joshua. Who is he? He's doing this right now. And you can like, oh, it's just text.
Oh, okay.
But like if you're confused and you're just like, I have no idea who this person is.
Yeah, like you come across somebody that you haven't seen since the beginning, and you're just like, why is he mad at me?
Yeah, and like you can view it like in the menus all times, but like when it's in the cutscene, it's like the Amazon X-ray mode where it will tell you like about the actors in that specific scene. It's like that, where it's just like this person is here. They're in this kingdom that has this policy and these laws, and it's a lot to take in, and I did not mess with it too much. I just saw who was who. But still cool.
Yeah,
the active time lore
very cool,
like helps you keep up with things. And that'll bring us to third to last positive. The soundtrack is phenomenal. It's like action heavy Final Fantasy movie, like, I don't know why I said movie. Final Fantasy music.
Spirits Within.
There is a Spirits Within reference.
No, there's not.
There is. Some enemy does a move called Spirits Within, and then like the powered up version of the enemy later on does a move called Spirits Without. So there is a Spirits Within reference.
Okay.
Is it a really shitty move that has nothing to do with anything?
You can dodge it, so yes. But yeah, it has nothing to do with anything.
Okay. I've never seen that movie, to be fair. I've just heard horrible things.
You can watch it with me for the rankings.
I'm gonna have, yeah, sure. Might as well.
But the music is awesome. It really sets the tone for this dire landscape a lot of the times. One of the coolest parts is how they remix like the prelude into like this dark, seething fantasy like version of it. Like normally the prelude is played on harps during the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like kind of dark and
bagpipes.
Seething. Not bagpipes. It's still like a harp type thing. But the world is so desolate, like it's like a dark version of it. It's like in the Super Mario Brothers movie, when Bowser gets the star and it starts playing like the sinister version of the Invincible theme.
Okay.
It's like that, but the prelude for Final Fantasy. Yeah, the soundtrack has a lot of bangers in it, and a lot of cool music that sets the mood too. There's also a very cool big bad that, like I said, 70% of the way through the game, he really shows up, but he's awesome. The end game is amazing for this. And then the biggest plus, and this is a hefty claim that I am glad to claim, and I've been racking my brain ever since I beat this last year.
Oh, it's your favorite Final Fantasy.
No. Trying to think of like anything that has upped it, and I can't. But it's probably the best spectacle in gaming with the icon fights. Like they are so like massive. I mean, we're big Godzilla fans, so
yeah.
Icon,
a little bit of Godzilla mixed with Final Fantasy.
Kaiju fights.
That sounds awesome.
It was amazing. And you get to like semi-control them the whole time. Like you control them sometimes, and then sometimes it's just like a QTE. But it still is awesome to feel like they make QTEs almost fun again. Like you don't hate them. Because, like, it's just, like, mash the square button, and then the whole screen starts, like, vibrating as you're doing it. Because, like, your Ifrit, like, shoving his fist through, like, the Phoenix.
Wow.
Not literally. But.
QTEs, like, they have their place. I think the main bad reputation is so many people did them for so long.
Yeah.
So many people were like, oh, we don't have to actually make this a boss fight. It's just a QTE. And it's like, no.
Yeah. So, that's your spoiler-free review of Final Fantasy 16. It took me... I forgot to write this down. But it took me roughly, I want to say...
Platinum?
About 55 hours. I did not platinum it. The platinum, it doesn't suck, but it's tricky. Like, it says, like...
You gotta take a quiz and remember everyone's name.
Okay, no. There's one trophy in the platinum that's like, get all the decorations for Clive's room. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I can do this. Like, normally you get them throughout the, like, doing side quests and doing the plot. And it's just like, yay, you helped me. Here's a jug you can put in your room. And then Clive's like, this is going on my mantle.
I do like this jug here.
And then that's it.
You have a room. Can you customize it or anything?
No.
Oh.
But there are these like challenge like things later on.
I'm very proud of this jug.
So it's like the ship in Mario Odyssey.
Kind of, yeah.
Where you just have like the little trophies of where
actually 100%. Yes, that's it. But yeah. So there's these challenge rooms that there aren't trophies for. That like. And it's just like, okay, this is like a Devil May Cry-esque like game. They rank you like A to S, and you get points and shit based on how well you do the levels and stuff. So, of course, there's going to be challenge rooms, you think, just for high scores and stuff. Check the trophies. There's not a trophy for it. There's a decoration for beating all of them. So you have to beat all of them to get all the decorations for Clive's room.
And is that a trophy?
That is a trophy.
Okay. So he just gets like a little cat doll, and he's like, I'm very proud of this.
Yes. But yeah, so the platinum I didn't do. I may go back and do it in New Game Plus, which there is a New Game Plus.
He won't.
Maybe whenever the DLC comes out and I can go back with the new icons and stuff like that.
No, he won't, because he got the game, played it for like an hour, and then didn't beat it until December.
Okay.
So he's not going back.
So that's the uneven pacing. Like, this game, I bounced in and out of so much.
Yeah.
Like, ew.
And it was bad timing. Because whenever you would hit a slow spot, like, Tears of the Kingdom would come out.
Yeah.
Or some other big game would
or
come out.
Or Armored Core 6 would come out. Or Sea of Stars would come out.
Didn't Final Fantasy 16 come out in, like, June?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you were still playing You were still playing Tears of the Kingdom when it came out, though.
Yeah.
So
it would just, like, have such low... Like, I go from an icon fight down to side quests, and I'd just be like... and then go play something else. Like, it's... The pacing issues is what really did it for me. And that is why I bounced in and out of this. But... I know I sounded super negative. But I give this game an 8 out of 10. And I can't tell you why without spoiling it. So if you don't want spoilers,
I forgot.
Get out of
here. We
here.
haven't gotten into spoilers yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, spoilers. Human politics is boring. Except for Clive versus Kupka. Kupka. Hugo Kupka.
Why is his name Kupka? He sounds like that's like a Mario villain name. Like,
yeah,
it's Koopa with a K in the middle.
I mean, the Moogles literally say Koopo.
Kupka.
But yeah, he is from Dalmekia, which is like a desert region.
Can I make a guess real quick? How much is this plot have anything to do with crystals? Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
It has to.
It's all about crystals.
Okay, I was guessing, because some Final Fantasies seem to not have crystals.
Okay, so... okay, I'll get into that real quick, and then we'll get back to Koopy. So, the crystals. There's 4 mother crystals on the Earth, and all the people get magic from them. And this is the weird part, is like X-Men... Like, some people are attuned to magic and some aren't. And some countries view them as inferior for some reason. And then they brand them as the branded.
The
and
magic users
they
or the
enslave them, yeah.
not magic? Okay.
The magic users. It's like X-Men, where there's just like, you're different and better than me, but you, you're a slave now. Like,
So it's the opposite of 1200, year 1200 in Chrono Trigger.
yeah.
Whatever year that was, where they had the magic floating city.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of that in some countries. Some it's not. Some they're just like, yeah, whatever. It's, you know, everybody uses magic. You use magic, and you can use it for me. But then, so at the beginning when I talked about Titan versus Shiva and like that war, Shiva was a slave of that country that they were forcing to like turn into Shiva. But okay, so there's 4 crystals. They give everybody magic, but anytime people use magic, the world dies.
What?
The world dies a little bit every time they use magic.
Oh.
And that's the whole point of Sidolphus and his hideaway. That's Sid's full name.
Wow.
That's terrible.
But he's voiced by the cool voice man from like The Witch, Vivitch.
Oh.
He's got a really cool voice. It's awesome. But his whole
most
plan,
insanely deep voice you ever heard.
it's like these mother crystals aren't good. They're killing the planet. So we got to take them out, because not only are they killing the planet, but they are handicapping humanity for being resourceful on them. Like, so many people don't know how to properly like dig a well or light a fire, or I don't know what the earth crystals are used for, but like they use these crystals and like they get like little shards off the mother crystals that are massive, like skyscrapers, and then they can just like squeeze this thing and that gives you water. But like no one knows how to actually get running water in the village without the magic. So that's why you're a terrorist, is to they're using the magic, so you have these like barren places that are like, it looks like everything burnt, but it didn't. It just had the life sucked out of it. Like the barrens is what they call them. And like everything's turned into ash, like Thanos snapped. But it just has the magic sucked out of it and life sucked out of it, because like I guess you're using the magic, so the mother crystals kind of take the life energy to make more magic or something.
live stream.
Kind of, but yeah. So magic is good, it helps everybody, but you cannot ever use magic without a price. So even if
That's
like,
pretty cool.
like nurses
cool
and
idea.
stuff are like using magic to heal people, it's hurting the planet. So it's a cool dynamic.
Yeah, magic with a price is a pretty cool. That's
So
cool.
only bearers can do that. They have the bear of the weight of the magic to do. And then there's certain ones that are called dominants. These are the summon people. These are like, you have been chosen, like the chosen one of like this line. Like I want to say some people have like found out a way to like breed it down the line, like the lineage of Bahamut and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool that there's like some chosen, and then even them, when you don't want to turn into the summon, like, and become Shiva, because then that will take a toll on your body and like make you start coughing up blood and nose bleeding and stuff.
Okay.
And that's the other thing, is like dominants and bearers, anytime they use magic, takes a toll on their body. Eventually they will turn to stone, because they get the life sucked out of them as well. So magic is all bad but good for like helping things, but it never like fully helps. So it's a cool dynamic. So now everybody's fighting for land, for the mother crystals and stuff like that. You're going around destroying the mother crystals. So you destroy them, and it's just like, okay, this country has no magic anymore, and they're just like, I don't know how to do shit. I hate this. And then you just leave and go to the next one.
Not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm done with my terrorism.
So the idea, obviously, is to get everybody standing on their own 2 feet and evolving as a society and stuff like
So
that.
can people? Are there like wizardy people that like can use magic without the crystal shit, or is it just all crystal shit?
I mean, dominants can. But no, everybody else needs crystals.
Okay.
I think. They might not.
Well,
but I know crystals help. But yeah, so back to Kupka and Clive's blood feud, because it is wild how much these people hate each other. Because, okay, so Clive is the second dominant of fire, Ifrit. Kupka is the dominant of earth, Titan. One's from Dalmekia, one's from Rosefield, his country. Because Clive was a prince, and then he stepped on his dad, and he stepped on his brother. His dad died. There was an assassination and coup and everything right at the prologue. Like, they run through. Oh wait, that's right. I think it was Kupka. Something happened. I don't know. I forget. It was a long time ago. No, Clive, at some point at the beginning, he thinks whoever's Ifrit killed his brother, but it's like Goku with Grandpa Gohan. Like, he did it. He just doesn't know he is Ifrit. But okay, I'm gonna get sidetracked. Kupka hates Clive. Clive hates Kupka. I forget why exactly Clive hates him, but I know why Kupka hates Clive. Because Clive killed Benedicta, who was Kupka's girlfriend. They were like...
So Clive's the bad guy.
Kupka, I think, killed his family or something like that, too. Like, Kupka's terrible. He's awful. Like, he basically is a tyrannical, like, dictator of his country. And now he's teaming up with another dictator to dictate the world. But yeah, so he's got to be stopped. And he stopped Benedicta, who's working with them also. And then Sid and Clive had the brilliant idea of just like, hey, this is Kupka's girlfriend. Let's cut off her head and send it to him.
What the Clive, you piece of shit.
So they cut off her head and send it to him, and then
you can kill her without being a villain.
And he's just like, oh my god, and he gets so mad, he turns into Titan, goes and finds the hideaway, and smashes their whole town, and kills like 90% of what's left of them.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. So they're all bad. And then, basically, at that point, they're destroying the it's either the first or second Mother Crystal, and Sid is, he's transformed like about one too many times. He can't take it much more, so he transforms into Ramu, because he's dominant with lightning.
Okay.
So he's done it too many times, he's taken a toll on him, he transforms, kills the Mother Crystal, and then, basically dies at that point. But that is when the big bad emerges for the first time. You just see this weirdo alien-looking dude, and he just like... Because he destroys the Mother Crystal, and then a portal opens, and this dude just climbs out, and it's just a man with the, like, Ramu lightning rod, like, stuck in him. And then Ramu, like, dissipates, and then Sid's just left there, like, dying. And then Clive and him, like, teleport to a portal, and Clive fights him. But then Sid dies. Then you flash forward 5 years.
Shit.
Now Clive has the title of Sid and is running things at the hideaway. They, like, scrounged around, moved to a new place, and are running things now. And then you meet up with Kupka again to fight him. And that was one of the coolest fights. Like, you fight him in human form, then he's, like, gets all magicked and dominated, and you fight him like powered up like Titan, still human, and then you fight him as Titan. But that whole fight is, like, really cool, like, their hatred. Because, like, yeah, at one point, Clive is just, like, twisting the knife. He's like, yeah, that wasn't even Sid's idea to send you Benedicta's head. It was me.
Jesus, Clive. What the f***, man?
But then, Clive's on the ropes. Kupka's about to, like, slam him like an ape. But then Clive puts up his sword, and Kupka chops his hands off.
Wow.
Wow. That's Jesus.
Okay. So getting back on track a little bit here. One of the main negatives is, like, you go from fighting Kupka and all this awesome stuff. He transforms into Titan. Ifrit and Titan punching it out. Then he transforms into a mountain version of Titan because he grabs a mother crystal and gets juiced up on it.
Jeez.
Oh. Now it's a kaiju. And you run up, like you are running up his tentacles and stuff like that. And that's absolutely awesome. And then you, like, shove a tentacle through his head and go inside of him. And then, oh, there's real Titan in there. And then you fight him. And then you beat him. And then it's just like, go kill more goblins. And it just sucks. Going from, like, that to the lowest, like, rung of killing goblins and fighting little, like, plant monsters. It is just like, it was one of the biggest, like, deficits in gaming, going from that to that.
Jeez.
Okay, characters. Clive, Sid, Jill, Joshua are all very good characters. Clive's the main man, obviously. He's got a really cool, like, redemption arc where he, like, forgives himself for stepping on his brother, basically, and, like, thinking he killed his brother. And Clive has a really cool arc in this.
Is he ever like, maybe I went too far with Benedicta, or like?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Like, he does feel remorse. He's just like he's thinking about that. He's like, am I even someone to look up to and stuff like that. It's like a really good character arc. And then Jill was their friend from childhood that is also the dominant of Shiva, and her and Clive, you know, lovey-dovey.
Ooh, fire and ice make steam, baby.
That's the naked picture on the beach I sent you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pervert.
So Jill is, other than being Clive's, like, paramour and stuff like that, she actually has a cool arc and stuff where she, like, doesn't want any of this. Like, she doesn't want any violence or anything. She's just like, we just need to figure out some way for peace and stuff like that, and it just can't be achieved. And then, like, she never stops believing in, like, a better world and stuff like that. And it's a really, like, good thing to see. Sid is a cool voice guy. He sets everything in motion. He knows the mother crystals are bad, and
we're gonna get the magic crystals.
He may not even
voice.
be a good character, like, if he didn't have that voice. Like, I don't know if I would like him as much. And then Joshua is cool, because that's Clive's brother that he thinks is dead. And then he's like, no, I'm not dead. And then, eventually him and Clive
stepped on myself, and he turns into Ifrit.
So eventually him and Clive meet back up and everything, and, like, he's just a really good character to have there that, like, kind of, like, grounds things and elevates more fantasy into everything. I talked about negative side quests earlier, and that they all suck, but there are some that are very good because they are hunt-based. It's like almost like Monster Hunter.
Oh,
because, like,
skin them and wear them.
No, not like that.
Oh.
Like, you see, like, it's not this specifically, but there's a hunt board, and you're just like, there's a behemoth somewhere lurking in, like, Rosaria or something, and then, like, you can read the description, and it's just like, yeah, he likes to work around, like, this river and, like, a desert area. So you look somewhere on the map in between, like, a river and a desert, and then boom, there's a behemoth. So there's, like, it doesn't give you a waypoint to go to. Like, you actually have to find it. Like, that was very refreshing in a game like this one, where all the side quests are just like, go here, fight this, grab this, come back, go there, tell them you grabbed it, and come back and tell me you told them that I told you. Like, there's a lot of back and forth, and it's just like, go to this waypoint and keep bouncing back and forth between waypoints. So actually having to find something was a very, very good, like, quest line. And you get a bunch of good rewards for it. Like, they're all crafting rewards, but that's how you make the best weapons, so that you can do more hunts. And every now and then you do get, like, some good accessories that, like, up your, like, iconic abilities. But by far the best accessory, I forget even how you get it. I know it's from the Renown Girl, but it makes your dodging you can precision dodge, and then you slow down time, and then you can attack something with a powered up fire sword every time. It's like the best thing in the game. Alright, you ready to talk about Ultima?
Is that the spell?
No, it's a god.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Ultimaeus, the boss fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ultima is literally God. He created the humans and everything. Like, he is... It's almost like a mixture of, like, Genova and, like, I don't know, something else. Like, God. Like...
Okay.
Because he's an alien that came here because his world dried up from using too much magic. And so he came here, created life in hopes that they would evolve over eons to create the person he needs, who is Clive. Because he created life so that they would evolve, become dominants, become bearers,
Lavos?
start using magic. That's a lot like Lavos, yeah.
Yeah, Lavos.
Basically, planted the seed of humanity so that they would evolve to get good at magic, to get good and breed the dominance so much and stuff like that, that eventually it would come to be Muthos. Spelled Mythos, but they say Muthos. That is what he calls Clive. Because Clive has the ability to Mega Man everybody and take their powers. Like the Eikons and stuff like that. Sometimes he doesn't even have a choice in it. Like, he just, like... He was... I think Garuda was the first one, and he was, like, trying to help her or something, or... Not even trying to steal her powers, but he was just like, oh, this is mine now. And then that was it.
So she didn't have her power anymore?
No.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But sometimes they do get to keep it if their will is strong enough. Like, he takes Bahamut's, but then the guy still turns into Bahamut because he's just like, he's that willful. But yeah, Ultima created all life so it would turn into Clive eventually, so that basically he can take it. That's his vessel now. He wants to live in that body. To have all the iconic abilities, because they kind of hint towards that more of his, like all the other icons are either from him or from his race or something, and he wants to control all of it.
Okay.
And kind of, now that he can, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Grand Evolutionary, High Evolutionary, he wants to like wipe the slate clean, because he's like, y'all evolved too much. I want to go live alone in my Muthos body, and he's going to kill everybody. Because they serve their purpose, he's just going to let it die and keep on living. So that's the whole plot, is that like he orchestrated humanity so that he could get this vessel. Yeah, so Ultima had this plan, but what he didn't plan for was human will. Because Ultima is this very, like, almost mechanical being, like, he's super monotone, like, thinks he's better than everybody. And, like, there's one instance in the game that's awesome, like, Clive's, like, knocked out or something, Ultima pops up, and he's like, I'm gonna go get him. And then Joshua's there, and he's like, you won't take one more step, or you'll have to go through me. And Ultima's just like, very well. And just, like, without missing a beat, like, he's not annoyed or, like, intimidated. He's just like, okay, let's get this over with. And he didn't plan on, like, free will, basically. Like, he's like, why don't you want to succeed? Like, this is your purpose. Why don't you want to do this? And then Clive's just like, because I'm pissed off. I don't want to do anything you tell me to do. Chaos. Basically, yeah. That's another thing. They say a lot in this game. It's weird. But, yeah. Like, free will of humanity. Like, Ultima thought everybody would just be like, yes, we're good with dying. That's fine. But no one wants to die. Like, a few people want to die, but that's because Ultima promised them, like, they could come to the land. But then they'll become Akashic, which is, like, magic zombies that happen in, like, the Barrens. Like, you become Akashic, you get overcharged with magic, and you're a zombie. But yeah, that was a really cool thing with Ultima, and then obviously I can't sum up the whole thing here, so we'll move on from that. But Ultima was very well done. I really liked him, especially just how monotone and like little shits he gave throughout the whole thing until the end. At the end, he does start getting some emotion because he is obviously about to die, and he's getting mad about it, and it's cool to see him go from nothing at all to just like utter rage as an emotion, which was a really cool thing. But obviously, the Titan fights are like, or the Eikon fights are the best. We're gonna start with Titan because, as I mentioned earlier, you fight Titan as a man, as a dominated man, as Titan, and then as Super Titan, and somehow everything keeps getting better from there. For the most part, like, I thought that was how it was going to go, because that's how Benedicta went. Like, you fought her as a person, and then you fought Garuda, which that was cool, because you fought that like before Ifrit, and then you fought as Ifrit. But normally, you fight him as Clive, and then once they transform, you transform, and it's punchy kaiju fight, quick time, event time. And it's awesome to see. Not that awesome to play because it's a lot of like cutscenes. Like I said, they made it like visceral with like the vibrations in the screen and like the controllers like HD rumble and stuff like that. But you don't really do too much when you're Ifrit, especially as Titan. Titan was kind of like, the spectacle was good. The fight wasn't that good because you're kind of just punching at a wall because he's giant. Like, yeah. Titan's the biggest of them all. Like, Ifrit is like up to his knee regular, and then he gets like jacked up, and like then you're literally like, it's like us versus a mountain. Like, it's huge. But then Bahamut, I kind of told you about this in the boss fights.
Yeah.
Bahamut goes into space, and Ifrit and Phoenix do the fusion dance and start flying in space after him. And then he starts charging up Zeta Flare because he's like enraged. Like, he didn't even mean to turn into Bahamut. Like, he just like happened. Like, he lost his like.
Clive sent him his girlfriend's head, maybe.
No, nothing like that. Clive's trying to kill his stepmom because that is Clive's mom.
Okay.
The f***.
So I forgot to tell y'all that.
Shit.
Yeah. Where does Dion live? I forget. It's not Rosaria, but it's like the Twin City or something like that. He's the prince of that place. Clive's mom organized the coup to kill Clive's dad and ruin the Rosarian kingdom, and then she left to go to the twin side to marry that guy because he had a dominant. She hated Clive because he didn't have a dominant because he was a late bloomer. And then Joshua did, but he was a sickly kid all the time. And then she's like, I don't like this family. I want a better, pure breeding, like, dominant kid. So then she left and went to him, and then she kind of got it. Like, it seemed like he was going to be a dominant. But then, yeah, there's a whole thing of, like, her organizing this coup. And then you confront her and everything. Yeah, that was cool. But, yeah, so that little side note of the that's the politics that like kind of gets cool, but it's not cooler than kaiju fights. But one of the coolest ones is Odin, who is not kaiju sized. Like, he's just a man, but he's charged up with the power of Odin, and it was one of the most fast, frenetic fights of all time. Like, it was crazy. Like, there's so many sword cuts going all over the arena because they say Odin's sword can cut through creation. They did a great job building up Odin too, because like you fight him a time prior to this, and you barely stand any chance. Like, I think it's like a scripted loss, and then you sit naked on a beach with Jill, absorb the Shiva like iconic ability, and then you go back and kick his ass. So that was a really cool like way to make you feel powerful by taking down Odin, by making you lose, which was really cool. And then obviously the ultimate fight was the best one. I already talked about this like in the boss fight video, but you do the triple flare attack with Bahamut, Phoenix, and Ifrit like shooting at him, and then he goes and turns into Ifrit. You fight in space, and then you fight him again, and then he's like, "I'm Garuda," and then Clive's like, "No, I'm Garuda," and it's just a cool fight. But the best part about that is that this ends like they both, like all the humans succeed in what they wanted to do. Like they take down all the crystals, people start evolving and everything. And one of my favorite parts is that Clive dies. Everybody dies.
Whoa.
It's a suicide mission. Like they knew it going in. It reminds me a lot of Chrono Cross. Because like you fight him, you fight Ultima, and then he like explains his plan, and then like this tower just starts floating in the sky, and everybody's just like, I have no idea how to get there. It's like Terra Tower, and then instead of getting a spaceman to make your boat fly up, this guy's just like, I'm Bahamut, you can just ride on my back.
Okay.
And you go into the sky, and that's kind of where it ends, basically. But yeah, there's a lot in here that was like really cool, but they knew it was like a suicide mission going in. So like Clive said goodbye to Jill, said goodbye to everybody. He was like, there's this one scout guy that's actually one of the better characters. Like he's not great, but his name's Gav. He's like a scout that is always there to, like, he's plot based only. Like he doesn't do anything action wise. But he's a good character, and Clive's just like, you're the man now of the house now, and then he's all crying. So Clive's like, said his goodbyes, knows this is a suicide mission, and it actually stays a suicide mission. Like, so many things these days have no consequences. They're like,
they didn't die.
yeah, he's dead, but now he's back. It was a non-fatal bullet. Like, it's fine. People get shot in the heart all the time. It's the non-fatal part.
Yeah, I mean, you get one chamber, it's fine. Once you get 2 or 3, that's when you die.
But the fact that there were actual consequences and their sacrifice meant something is what I really liked. Because like you get this very touching scene of like Joshua's dead and he's dying, and Clive can't help it because he's Muthos. He starts absorbing the Phoenix energy from him. And he doesn't want to do that, because then Joshua won't have it, because Phoenix, rebirth and all that stuff has healing capabilities too. So, this is after you killed Ultima and the Mother Crystals and everything. Clive's like trying his hardest to use his Phoenix powers to revive Joshua, but the magic's gone. So he can't.
All the magic in the world? So even the Eikons aren't magic anymore?
Right.
Oh, shit.
And then, this is the kicker. Then Clive takes off his gauntlet, and his fingers are turned into stone from using the magic and everything. So not only does Clive die, but he is also becoming like, like one of the barren like stone people to like just like fade away into dust. And luckily, I wouldn't say it was a painful death. Like, I think it was fine. Like, I mean, he's still beat to shit from the Ultima fight, but I don't think it was, like, too painful of a way to go, I would imagine. He has, like, a peaceful moment on the beach after, like, the tower crashes and everything, staring at the stars. But then you flash forward several hundred years, and people are lighting fires with flint and stone. They've learned to survive without magic, and it's 2 brothers reading the book Final Fantasy, written by Joshua Rosfield. So Joshua, before he died, wrote a book, and all these kids are just like, ooh, I get to be Bahamut, I'm gonna be Ifrit. And it's just like, it's a fantasy book now, and it was just like
because magic's dead, so it's basically just our world without internet.
Right. Like, it was a very interesting, like, cool way to end it. That, like, their sacrifices
was the Final Fantasy
something.
Because there's no fantasy stuff anymore.
Right.
Well, maybe goblins.
Yeah, maybe goblins. They might still be there. But, yeah, it was a very cool ending that, like, I just really liked that their sacrifice meant something, and that it stayed the way it was. It's not like Ultima's brother Multima came up and he was like, yeah, I'm the god now. But yeah, I really like that. And
Ultima.
then also, real quick before I end this, if you watch FatBrett on YouTube, he does a lot of great like deep dives into villainy and stuff like that. He did an amazing one into Ultima. I tried not to say anything from his video here to like rip him off or anything. Go watch that video. It's a great, like, it's like 30 minutes long, but if you made it here, that's longer than this. He pointed out something great in that I want to leave everybody with, because it's just too funny. Could mean something, it could just be a cool wink to us. In, I think it's Greek or Latin, mythos means fantasy. Ultima means final. So Clive is the final fantasy for Ultima. And that's just like, it's either a cool wink or like means something, but either way, I loved like that realization. That it's just like, yeah, they did that. That's good. That's good. That's a good job.
That is pretty cool. I'd imagine it would have to be on purpose.
You'd think so, yeah. But, like I said, I'd give Final Fantasy XVI an 8 out of 10. That ending just, oh my god, it like, once it started, it kicked off like 16 shotguns at the same time. Like, it had so much kick to it. 70% of the way through the game. But, that 30% is enough to save it from being... Honestly, at first, I was leaning towards a 6 out of 10. Because I didn't... Like, I liked it enough. Maybe a 7. 6 sounds a little harsh. But, yeah, I liked Final Fantasy 16 a good bit. Like, it was fun, but it didn't really hook me until that last 30%. And then I could not stop. Like, I stayed up until, like, 5 a.m. several nights in a row. And I just could not put it down. It was too enthralling, too... like gut-wrenching and like action-heavy. Like that last 30% is what makes the game. So if you're struggling with Final Fantasy 16, just pursue a little bit more. Maybe save the side quests for the end game or for never. But just keep going. Do some main quests and get it going, because it gets really good and it's worth experiencing. So thank you for watching this video and hearing me bitch/gush all about Final Fantasy 16. I hope you tune in for more of my Final Fantasy videos in the future, because there's going to be a lot of them.